Hey everyone, hi, and welcome to another weekly connection. So here we are with the usual crew of Lord Katumi, Lord Mahay, Saint Germain, Jawal Kaul, the karmic board, the entire karmic board. So this ought to be interesting. All right. The Earth, the sun, our galaxy, is hurling through space, through the Milky Way. We don't go around and around in a circle, we go in a spiral like this, right? So we are heading toward our central sun. Now, you're not going to reach the central sun for a jillion years. I don't know how long, but it's a long time. So I just made up jillion. But anyway, nothing that we have to particularly worry about at this time. But the point being that we are moving through the solar system through a place called the golden photon. And this photon is making humans that are unable to evolve crazier than a loon. And you see more and more of that. You know, the crazies get crazier, the good get gooder, and the bad get better. That is where we are. And you can really see, and the other thing that's happening is that we have a dwarf sun. And that dwarf sun is closer to the Earth than it normally is, and that's a normal trajectory path. But every time that happens, the Earth goes through a transition or dimensional shift. So that is continuing to escalate or proceed to encroach on our sun's energy area. And that makes it act up a lot. So there's a lot of things that are happening in the cosmos to affect us, and they are all here to shift us and shift the Earth to collective consciousness. The collective consciousness to cosmic consciousness. The Earth will shift with or without you. This is very important to understand. The mother wants you, really does, wants you to shift and gain at this most optimum moment. There isn't a greater moment, and has not been a greater moment in cosmic history, to dump the trash. So karmically, letting go of stuff, escalating, propelling yourself forward into 5D, letting go of those limited thought patterns, letting go of all the stuff you think is true. What we do know is that this Earth is an illusion. Your reality of what you think is so is an illusion. No one's version of reality is it. Nobody. Because you're still working on the 3D malformed concept of reality, which is duality. So nobody's reality is actually correct. I remember the first time I saw The Matrix. I only saw it once. I came home and I just sat down in a chair and I said to Pat, well, what if people think that the reality beyond this reality is actually reality? Won't that be a mess? Because it isn't. So you have to let go of all of that stuff, knowing it is just an illusion that binds it all together. It's the thing that makes it work, the flower in the egg, you know? It makes it hold together. It's the binder. But it's not intended that you would ever think that it's reality. But because we're in such a dense carbon vibration, we think this is it. We think, oh, here we are, this is reality. It's so far from the truth. Can I explain what is? No. You have to know. That's the thing about that stuff, right? You know, you can't really explain that. You have to experience it. So don't worry about it. You don't need to. It's a bonus, but you don't need to. All you need to know is that your mind is running this show and it isn't accurate. The only thing that can run the show that is accurate is your heart. I didn't hit my mic. Your heart is the only guidepost you have to reality. Because reality is not anger, is not fear, hatred, or any of those things. All of those are illusion. Low vibration, illusion. So we have to be coming from our heart and from love in order to experience cosmic consciousness. It is not a belief. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with a knowingness, a feeling in your heart, not in your mind. Your mind will confuse you. Your mind will convince you you're coming from your heart. That's a tricky one. We call it the delusion phase of enlightenment. Everyone goes through this delusion phase of thinking, I'm there. You're not. You're not. You're a smidge higher than you were before. But you're still coming from carbon-based duality. Until you can radiate that love 24/7 from your heart, then you'll see what we're talking about. Then you'll see all this. It doesn't go away. It's really kind of weird. It's almost like you see multiple realities at one time. You know, it's like it's a movie. Yeah. And you see through the veil, as they often say. So we want you to practice this week seeing through the veil. We want you to practice this week breathing love, kindness, and compassion from your heart. No matter how wrong you think something is. See, that's the biggest catch. That's the thing that always trips people up. Because there are bad things going on in this world, for sure. We know they're part of that illusion. And we know the only way to free ourselves from suffering is to come from our heart. So we need to breathe through our heart. In the workshop, we're going to talk about how we use conscious use of power to affect the collective reality. And we'll work on that. Right now, we work on ourselves 24/7. And letting go of all the old beliefs and that 3D reality. And we free ourselves by coming from our heart, by coming from love, compassion, and kindness. I don't think it's such a tall order. I think we can definitely, and we are doing this. And the sun is just giving you nudges nonstop. And that's a good thing as we move through. So let's do it. Let's get our breath together. So I'm going to spray myself with the cosmic cleanse. And that's going to clear away all the schmuzz in my aura, right? And the cosmic thrust, which I'm going to use to transcend time and space and to realign my energy. So I'm going to, it comes down and a little more at your solar plexus. So I'm going to breathe it in. And it's one of my favorite experiences, this oil. I love it, all right? And that is allowing us to feel this energy together. And then the ascension oil, which I use on my third eye. I use this during the day, and I use this when I'm treating a lot. I put it on my nose, and I use it. If I have a gitchy moment, I probably use these two oils the most. The Cosmic Thrust, because I want to realign myself and get myself back to center. And then the Ascension Oil, because I want to rise above whatever the feeling was that I had. Clear myself, get back into that positive energy. All of nature, all of the divas, made me remember this because I was having a little conversation with a diva that I play with, and she was so loving and kind, and she was giving a gift to Patrick and I, and it was really beautiful. And I remembered after I had that little time with her that I felt how much more elevated my energy went as a result of what she had done. And so we'll feel these little bumps up, you know, and then you have a magic moment, I call them, you know, where things don't go so well. And you have to allow yourself to still come from your heart when you feel that magic moment. It's just a magic moment. It's no big deal, okay? Don't get uptight about it. So let's start that meditation, and we're going to do some heart breathing. So we're going to come from source, and it's going to come all the way down through your body and into the earth to the mother, where she welcomes you as the light sea that you are. And then moving your energy all the way out your feet and around the grid and up your back with the essence of the mother in it. And you bring it around. And you just do that orbit for a while. Just let that orbit move you. That's good. Just like that. Now you're connected, heaven and earth. So now let's get all sides. So now we bring it up, out the back, and we waterfall it out the top of our crown chakra. And it's going to connect to all of our aura. So we start with the well of the mother. And the well of the mother is so 5D. Because the well of the mother is intended to make that communication beyond what you think is reality. And to move you into a more oneness aspect, a more loving aspect of your connection on the earth. So we fill that with that light. And then we move into the root aura. And more of all that old 3D malformed connection codes are gone. Let that karma go. Let it be the learning experience that it was intended to be. It was never intended to be harmful. It was intended to be learning. It is our 3D selves that hold on to the negative. So let's let it go and celebrate the treasure of learning. And then we move out to our sacral chakra. And more of those limited beliefs that have been pounded into our heads since birth are dissolving into kindness and love and knowing. No judgment. And then we move into conscious use of power, which sits over here on your splenic area. And there, if we have a conflict, if there's something we can't let go of, this is where it's let go. This is where we move it through and dissolve our ego connection to it. Once your ego lets go, it's gone. And then we move into the empathic shield, which of course we love because we learn how not to judge. That's all the stuff that messes us up. That's the ego going, oh, they're not good. And what does the ego know? So we keep moving that energy through the empathic shield so that we become loving and kind. And that in turn comes up. Oh, I skipped the solar plexus where we connect to the collective consciousness. But we connect out now through our heart so that we show love in everything that we do. We show kindness and compassion. And we breathe through our heart. I was so anxious to get here. Breathing in through the heart and holding that energy and breathing out through the heart. And breathe it in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Letting go as we breathe in of all duality, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And releasing, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in love, 2, 3, 4. Hold that love, 2, 3, 4. And release that love, 2, 3, 4. To be shared with all. And in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Release, 2, 3, 4. And in, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. And release, 2, 3, 4. Now just breathe and allow that feeling of breathing through your heart. This is breathing through your heart. And when you breathe through your heart, your ego shuts up. Your mind is quiet. And it's a lovely space. And we bring that love up into our conscious intention, which is on your thymus, which is manifesting a loving world. With that light, we're breathing that loving heart energy through that thymus chakra so that we are manifesting love. You don't have to think about it. It just is. It just happens. Because then when you bring it into your throat, you are manifested. Already is. And your world is loving and kind. And you bring it up into your third eye. And your third eye is so happy because you're the light seed you wanted to be. This is your purpose in life. And this is who you really are. And then we bring that into your crown. And we wear our crown, announcing that we're a light seed and doing a fine job. And into the telepathic notch, where it's growing and growing as we are able to let go of all of those old ego-driven ideas that we crave. We don't crave them anymore. We crave that feeling of love. We crave that feeling of kindness, compassion. So now bring it all the way out and make that nice 18-inch gold shield so that others can munch and crunch it and experience love, get through their journeys, whatever they are. We don't know. We can't judge other people's journeys. They're just their journeys. And we make that outer shield strong, really strong. So that now if there's something that comes along that we don't understand or that we have a little opinion about, we watch it on that movie screen so that we can undo any judgment that we have toward everything. And then we wear our shield morning and night, all the time, so that all can munch and crunch, and we munch and crunch the most. So let's spring up into 5D. Let's get rid of all this 3D junk. We're kind of tired of it, aren't we? I think so. So, just keep breathing, and you'll know the way. I love you. I'll see you next week. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that junk. And I'd love to see you at the workshop. Bye-bye.